What's going on there, YouTube, and welcome back to another comic book video. We are going to continue our coverage over Batman after Final Crisis. Really have been covering Grant Morrison's work with the character before and after Final Crisis, but I thought we'd cover some stories that happened at the same time around the Grant Morrison Batman and Robin series. There were other books that fed into the idea that Dick Grayson was Batman and Damian Wayne was Robin right after Final Crisis. So I thought we would cover the first couple issues of Streets of Gotham. This is really a Firefly story, which is rare because he is not an A-list character, maybe a low B-list character, but close to C, but still a B-list character. But I really do like the character a lot. So when I found out that he had a 2-issue story to start off the Street of Gotham series, after I had read it, I knew we had to cover it. Plus, it has Dick Grayson Batman and Damian Wayne Robin. Also, this continues our coverage over the character known as Hush as well. And so getting into Streets of Gotham #1, we actually do pick up with Jim Gordon and Officer Mendez right now heading over to a hostage situation. Now, before we're able to actually dive into that hostage situation, I do want to focus on the conversation between Jim Gordon and also Officer Mendez. And the reason why, because when it comes to Officer Mendez, he begins to somewhat talk bad about Batman, because we have to remember, when it comes to Final Crisis and Battle for the Cow, no one in Gotham truly realized that there is a new Batman. No one knows that Bruce Wayne Batman is gone and now there's Dick Grayson Batman. To most people in Gotham, it's the same Batman they had before Battle of the Cow. But when it comes to Jim Gordon, he knows there is a new Batman because he worked alongside with Bruce Wayne Batman for so long that when Dick Grayson popped up as Batman, he realized there was a difference between the two. Either way, though, when it comes to Officer Mendez, he has been hearing that apparently in Gotham, Batman has become more brutal, more dangerous. Now, when it comes to Jim Gordon, he knows that Batman is still just Batman. He knows that everything he's hearing right now about Dick Grayson Batman is not true. And so he does tell Officer Mendez, listen, all I do is turn the light on in the sky to tell him Gotham needs help. And he does help Gotham out, and that is it. And you have Jim saying, I am not going to try to defend this Batman, but at the same time, I know that the reports about this new Batman is completely false. Now, they do arrive at the hostage situation. And so when Jim and the rest of the police officers do arrive at the scene of the crime, they come to find out that it's Harley Quinn who is actually holding up the jewelry store. Now, at this point in DC Comics, DC was actually trying to make Harley Quinn a good guy, a better person. And with that being said, when she came to the jewelry store, she honestly was going to buy some jewelry and that's it, not rob the place. Now, because her history, the owner of the place kind of like, no, there's no way that you're coming here on an honest behavior. Like, you are a bad person. Matter of fact, the money that you are using is probably bad money as well. And so, of course, he called the cops. Now, when he called the cops, she got very mad about that because technically she was just judged by her history, which, no offense, she was a supervillain for a very, very long time. Either way, she does tell Jim that honestly, she just came here to buy some jewelry and then she got judged by her past. And she even shows him proof that she was going to use some money and that was it. And really, when it came to the people who are being held as hostages, honestly, she did not want to do that at all. They kind of stayed there because they were scared. And so once she was able to actually show Gordon that she's no longer a bad guy, that she does have some legit money, he does let her go. Now, the other officers are surprised that Gordon let her go. But it's Gordon realizing, listen, when it comes to Gotham, we have bigger problems to actually deal with. When it comes to Harley Quinn, right now at this moment, she is not a big problem. So go ahead and let her go. And that is the moment you do have Dick Grayson Batman appear. Now, when he does appear, he does grab Harley Quinn. Now, when he does grab Harley Quinn, this is the moment we kind of find out that technically the money she has is not really her money. Technically, it's Thomas Elliott's money, because we kind of find out Harley Quinn got the money from Selina Kyle because Harley Quinn helped Selina Kyle get payback on Hush. Because remember, in the Heart of Hush storyline, Hush actually cut out the heart of Selina Kyle. Now, she did get her heart back, but of course, she wanted revenge. And so she called up Harley Quinn, and Harley Quinn helped her get revenge on Thomas Elliott. And of course, they stole all of his money, which means that some of the money that she is using right now is technically Thomas Elliott's money. Either way, it's Dick Grayson right now telling her, listen, you have the money. Leave Gotham and start over. Have a new life. Start a new beginning for yourself somewhere else away from Gotham. And he lets Harley Quinn go and he moves on with his day. But then we jump over to a different area in Gotham. Now, when we do jump over to this different area in Gotham, we actually do pick up with a mysterious character that is about to be introduced to us. And matter of fact, we are not going to learn about the name of this character for a good while when it comes to the series of Streets of Gotham. But either way, though, right now, when it comes to this scene, I do want to warn watchers of this video that what's happening right now is technically sex work. And unfortunately, it's a very young lady who's being pushed into sex work so that she'll be able to make some kind of money. Now, with that being said, these thugs are the ones who are trying to buy her body, technically, which is so sad to see here in this book. Either way, though, that is the moment you do have a mysterious character appear. Now, when he does appear, at first, we have no idea who this guy is, because the way he covered up, he wants to make sure that the people that are fighting against him have no idea who he is, but also the readers as well. Either way, he does beat all these guys down who were going to buy this young girl off. And once he does that and leaves, we do realize that he was wearing some brass knuckles. And of course, on one of his brass knuckles, it spelled out abuse. And so when we look on the guy's face, abuse has been embedded in the guy's face to tell us that when it came to our mysterious character's brass knuckle, it said abuse across it. But then we jump over to Firefly. Now, when we do, this is actually the moment where we do learn the master plan for Firefly. And what I mean by that is we have to jump back to the Battle for the Cow storyline just real quickly. And the reason why, because in that storyline, Black Mask did break out a bunch of bad guys. Now, when he did, he made sure that each bad guy was injected with some kind of chemical. Now, when it came to this chemical, if anybody did not want to follow the new Black Mask orders, they were technically killed off. Their heads were blown off thanks to that chemical that was in their bodies. It was a way for a Black Mask to control them. Now, when it came to Firefly, though, he made sure to follow every single order that Black Mask had given him. Now, the reason why Firefly did that, because he had his own master plan to use the chemical for his own personal need, which is to burn Gotham down. And so you do have Firefly tell us that once he was able to study the chemical, he was able to remove it from his body. Now, after that right there, he went around Gotham City and began to inject random people left and right with the same chemical that was in his body. The only difference is now the chemical will now set people on fire. And that is what Firefly wants to happen, to watch Gotham burn. And so this man just went around and just began to inject people left and right without them even knowing that they were injected. And as soon as he was ready to hit the button, which he does right now in this section, bam, just like that, people left and right in Gotham City right now are catching on fire. They are burning alive. Is Firefly getting what he actually wants, to watch Gotham burn? But then we jump over to Damian Wayne and also Thomas Elliott. Now, we have to remember that when it came to Thomas Elliott at this point in DC Comics, he looked just like Bruce Wayne. But on top of that, the reason why he's locked up right now in the home of Dick Grayson and Damian Wayne is because in a storyline we covered before this one right here, you had Thomas Elliott realize that Bruce Wayne is dead. But because he looked like Bruce Wayne, he had the ability to fly around and pretend to be Bruce Wayne and kind of do different things he always wanted to do to hurt the legacy of Bruce Wayne. Now, Dick Grayson and Damian were actually able to find him, stop him, and they locked him up. And so right now you have Damian and Thomas just playing chess with one another. But of course, he's still locked up in their penthouse because they're scared of the idea of throwing him into a regular prison because then he could tell everyone every single secret about the Bat family. Either way, though, right now you have Damian and Thomas playing chess. And while they're playing chess, they do see the news, where of course you have people right now just catching on fire left and right thanks to Firefly. And so you have Damian leave. Now when he does leave, this gives Thomas Elliott a plan to hopefully escape from his prison. And so that does lead into our new Batman and Robin going out there to Gotham City to save the people's lives who are right now just burning alive. Because right now it's people left and right catching on fire in different areas in Gotham. And so, of course, there is not one particular area. It's all over Gotham. And so Batman, Robin, the firefighters, the police officers, they're trying their best to help every single person they can right now. But unfortunately, there are so many people around Gotham right now who are burning alive. Now, things get even worse right after this section right here. But before we're able to see why it gets worse, we do see Batman talk to Jim Gordon. Now, when he does, you do have Batman tell Jim, listen, we know this has to be Firefly, not just because the people right now who are on fire, but also the chemical that's inside their body, because Batman was able to get a sample. And when he does get that sample, inside the chemical is some kind of chip. And with that chip, it activates the chemical that, of course, set people on fire. Now, when it comes to that chip, though, it's bug-like, which does tell Batman Firefly is back in Gotham. Now, you didn't have Batman go to the rooftop. And the reason why, because Damian's like, hey, man, you want to see this. And when you have Batman and Robin on this particular rooftop, they can see that Gotham is burning all over the city. It's Firefly getting what he wanted, which is to watch Gotham burn. And so then we jump over into the second chapter. Now, the second chapter does continue the idea that you have people right now catching on fire left and right. There could be people who were injected by Firefly, but not even know they were injected by Firefly, like Thomas Elliott. Because when we jump into the second chapter of this book, we do pick up with Alfred right now checking up on Thomas Elliott, because right now he is on fire. Now remember, when it comes to Thomas Elliott, at this point in DC Comics, he looked just like Bruce Wayne. And of course, you had Dick Grayson say, we are going to lock him up in our prison, in our penthouse, as a way to make sure that he does not get out. Because if he does, he can do a lot of horrible things as Bruce Wayne. Now, with that being said, though, because Alfred had saw Thomas on fire, Alfred was left to believe that there could have been a point where Firefly had injected some chemicals into Thomas Elliott because Firefly thought that Thomas was Bruce Wayne. But in reality, Thomas was not injected at all. He technically did set a fire as a way to trick Alfred into the prison cell, and then he does throw Alfred into the cell so that he'll be able to escape. And so now Thomas Elliott was able to get away, but of course he still looks like Bruce Wayne. But that is the moment where we actually do pick up with our mysterious character. Now, when we do see him right now going after a group of random thugs. Now, the reason why he's going after this group of random thugs, because right now in Gotham City, you do have a lot of stores being robbed. And the reason why, because with people right now catching on fire left and right, some of those people were actually store owners, which means that they're not at their stores to protect their stores from thugs like these ones right here. And so right now, their stores are being robbed by these thugs. Now, here's the thing. Our mysterious character does come in and stop those thugs. But right after he does that, he's confronted by Batman and Robin. Now, when it comes to Batman and Robin, they have no idea who he is at all. And matter of fact, we have no idea who this man is at all. Because again, the way he's dressed right now, we're left to wonder who he is. Either way, when he does see Batman and hears Batman say, "Hey, who are you?" our mysterious character does get a tad bit upset. And the reason why, because he says, "You should know who I am, and I'm trying to be a better person because of you." But unfortunately, this guy has no idea that we have a new Batman. He's thinking of Bruce Wayne, but not realizing that this is a new Batman, Dick Grayson. Now, he is able to get away, and Dick Grayson does confirm that he has no idea who that guy was. And for Damian, he definitely does not know who that guy was. And so once Batman and Robin are able to take down a few more thugs, you then have Batman and Robin continue to help people who may have been tagged by Firefly. Now with them doing that right there, you then have one girl actually give some very important information that helps Batman and Robin find Firefly, because she does say she remembers bumping into a guy, and when she does, he was very strange, very different. But on top of that, she does remember being touched by him out of nowhere for no good reason. And that was the moment she realized that she was tagged. And when she says that story to Batman and Robin, she also gives them a location of where she was tagged at. And so you do have Batman and Robin leave because they have an idea where to search for Firefly and to hopefully stop him as well. But when we jump over to Firefly, we do see Firefly right now suiting up. He's putting on his Firefly armor so that he'll be able to actually fly around and bring more flames to Gotham City. Now, while he's trying to suit up and leave, that is the moment he is confronted by Black Mask. Now, when he is confronted by Black Mask, this is actually very important because you have Black Mask very confused on why in the world Firefly is no longer following his directions. Because remember, back in Battle for the Cowl storyline, Firefly was one of the characters that was broken free from Black Mask and was forced to work for Black Mask. But on top of that, in that same storyline, Firefly moved up in chain when it came to the organization. He was one of the top guys in Black Mask's organization. And so right now, it's Black Mask kind of wondering why in the world Firefly is no longer trying to follow directions. And you have Firefly tell Black Mask, "Hey man, listen, the only reason why I followed your directions is so that I'll be able to learn more about your chemical, so that I'll be able to use your chemical for my own personal gain, my own personal needs." Now, as soon as Black Mask hears that, Black Mask kind of like, "Okay, fine. If you no longer want to follow my orders, let's not forget, you also have chemicals in your body, which means that I can set those chemicals off as a way to kill you off." But let's not forget, guys, Black Mask has no idea that Firefly got rid of that chemical a while back. And so right now, Firefly is kind of like, "Go ahead, hit the button." But unfortunately, it's not going to do anything at all because the chemical is no longer inside of me. And so then you have Firefly just go ahead and begin to attack Black Mask actually. Now, luckily for Black Mask, that is the moment you do have Batman and Robin appear. Now, when Batman and Robin appear, you do have Batman and Robin being able to save Black Mask from Firefly. Now, Batman goes after Firefly while you do have Robin try to help out Black Mask. And the reason why, because Black Mask is right now stuck under a bunch of debris. And so you do have Robin try to help Black Mask out while you have Batman chase after Firefly. Now, while Robin is trying to help out Black Mask, that is the moment someone knocks out Robin from behind. And that person is Zsasz. Now remember, Zsasz is known for killing people. And once he does kill you, he does mark himself on his own body. Either way though, right now, he realized he does not have time to kill off Robin. He's here to save Black Mask, and get away, because Zsasz also works for Black Mask. But Zsasz did say he felt like someone was going to betray Black Mask down the road, and most likely it would have been Firefly, which he is right now. And so Zsasz stayed close enough to make sure that Black Mask actually survived. Either way, you do have Zsasz being able to pull Black Mask out of debris, and they're able to leave. But then we jump over to the battle between Batman and Firefly. Now, when it comes to Batman and Firefly, their fights are never that long. Now, you would think that it would be a little bit longer because it's Dick Grayson right now being Batman. And usually when he fights against Firefly, he's Robin or Nightwing. He's never truly been Batman before. But of course, at this moment, he has no choice but to be Batman. And so you would think that we would get some kind of section where it's Batman right now, Dick Grayson Batman, trying to figure out how to fight against Firefly as Batman for once. But unfortunately, we don't. And so that means that Firefly is easily defeated once again. And the reason why I say once again, because usually when it comes to Firefly, most of his stories are just two-parters, and usually when it comes to him fighting against Batman, he does usually lose those fights very quickly. And matter of fact, for this storyline right here, he does lose very quickly. It's about 3 pages long, and Dick Grayson Batman was able to actually defeat Firefly. And so that is the moment where we actually pick up with Damian Wayne and Dick Grayson right now, going back to the penthouse. Now, when they do get back to the penthouse, of course, they do let Alfred out of the prison cell, but then they say we have to find Thomas Elliott. Now, when they do look on the internet, they know they can't look up any information or any appearances of Thomas Elliott, because right now, Thomas Elliott does not look like Thomas Elliott. Right now, Thomas Elliott looks like Bruce Wayne. And so right now on the internet, they're looking for any kind of appearances of Bruce Wayne across Gotham. Now, with that being said, that is the moment we see that there is a press conference happening, and Bruce Wayne is the one holding this press conference. Now, we know, and of course, Dick Grayson, Damian, and also Alfred, they know that this is not really Bruce Wayne holding this press conference. It's Thomas Elliott holding this press conference. And so what's happening right now is that you have Thomas Elliott actually telling the world that, hey, listen, as Bruce Wayne, I am going to help make Gotham better. And what I'm going to do is donate money to different things in Gotham to begin the process of actually helping Gotham get better. Now, what Thomas Elliott is actually doing right now is pretending to be Bruce Wayne, but to spend every single dollar of Bruce Wayne to basically say, Bruce Wayne, because I have no money, I'll make sure when you come back, you have no money either. And so right now, it's just Thomas Elliott spending Bruce Wayne's money left and right. And matter of fact, I think he spends $1 million just like that. Bam, gone. And he's like, hey, I am going to keep doing this until Gotham gets better. But in reality, he's going to keep doing this until Bruce Wayne is officially broke. Because Thomas Elliott looks like Bruce Wayne, he now has access to all of Bruce Wayne accounts. But with that being said, this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. Also, if you have any suggestions on books I should read, well, please let me know in the comments below, because you never know, your suggestion could be a future video down the road. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.